Listen closely, because 2026 is not knocking politely at your door. It is standing there with truth in its hands, asking who you will become when excuses grow tired. This year does not belong to the hesitant, the delayed, or the half awake. It belongs to those who rise even when comfort begs them to stay still. Laziness has stolen enough dreams, enough mornings, enough almost great lives, and today we take that power back. What you do from this moment forward will speak louder than every plan you ever made, and before this year is done, your actions will introduce you to a version of yourself you have never met, but were always meant to become. Laziness is not rest, because rest renews you, and laziness slowly removes you from yourself. Rest is intentional. It prepares your body and spirit to rise again. Laziness, however, is the quiet pause that lasts too long, the moment when ability sits untouched and potential grows silent. It is not loud or dramatic. It does not announce itself as failure. It simply shows up as delay, as distraction, as the habit of saying later until later turns into never. And that silence, when your gifts are not used, is where dreams begin to fade without ever making a sound. Inside you lives more than comfort was ever meant to hold. There are ideas in you that need movement, talents that need friction, and strength that only appears when you decide to stand up and use it. When you choose laziness, you are not choosing peace, you are choosing absence. You are stepping away from the work that would shape you, stretch you, and reveal what you are truly capable of becoming. Potential does not disappear all at once. It dims slowly when it is ignored, like a light left on in an empty room. Every day gives you a small but powerful choice to use what you have or to let it sit unused. You do not need perfect conditions to begin, because growth does not ask for perfection, it asks for participation. The effort you make today does not have to be grand, it only has to be honest. One page written, one task completed, one promise kept to yourself. These small actions break the silence that laziness creates. They remind you that you are alive, capable, and still becoming. There will be days when comfort feels convincing, when staying still seems easier than moving forward. On those days, remember that ease is not always kindness. Sometimes the most loving thing you can do for yourself is to push gently but firmly beyond what feels familiar. Your future self is built by the decisions you repeat, not the intentions you admire. When you act even while unsure, you teach yourself courage. When you wait too long, you teach yourself doubt. Unused potential has weight. It shows up as regret, as restlessness, as the quiet question of what if. But potential used, even imperfectly, turns into confidence, clarity, and direction. Action gives you answers that thinking never will. Movement creates momentum, and momentum changes identity. You stop seeing yourself as someone who plans and start seeing yourself as someone who does. That shift is powerful, and it begins the moment you refuse to stay silent. So let this be the year you listen closely to what you are capable of and respond with action. Not rushed, not forced, but consistent and real. Break the silence by showing up. Use your hands, your mind, your voice, your effort. Let your potential be heard through what you do each day. Because rest will restore you, but action will reveal you, and the world needs what only you can bring to life. You were born with fire, not for waiting rooms, not for benches along the road where dreams sit holding numbered tickets. There is a heat inside you that was never meant to be dimmed by delay or cooled by hesitation. That fire is your calling to move, to try, to step forward even when the path is unclear. Waiting rooms teach patience, but staying there too long teaches fear. Life does not reward those who only wait to be chosen. It opens its doors to those who rise and knock with purpose. Every time you postpone your effort, that fire does not disappear. It flickers, restless, asking for air. You feel it when your heart grows heavy, without knowing why, when your mind feels crowded with ideas that never leave your head. That discomfort is not weakness. It is your spirit reminding you that you were designed for more than preparation alone. You were meant to participate, to engage, to place your energy where your hope already lives. The world will offer you many reasons to stay seated. It will say, wait until you are ready, wait until conditions improve, wait until someone notices you. But readiness is not a place you arrive at by sitting still. It is something you build by moving through fear, by learning through action, by standing up while your voice shakes and your hands tremble. Growth happens in motion, not in holding patterns. There will be moments when stepping forward feels uncomfortable, even lonely. That is often the sign that you are leaving the familiar behind. Comfort has a way of convincing you that staying still is safety, but safety without progress slowly becomes a cage. The fire within you needs challenge to burn brighter. It needs responsibility, effort, and risk. Without them, it turns inward and becomes frustration instead of power. You do not have to run, you do not have to leap, but you must rise. One step taken with intention carries more weight than years spent waiting for permission. Each action you take feeds that fire, reminding you of who you are when you choose courage over convenience. Movement teaches you trust in yourself. It builds a quiet confidence that no applause can replace. When you act, even imperfectly, you change the way you see yourself. You stop identifying as someone who hopes and start becoming someone who does. That shift transforms everything. The waiting room loses its grip, and the world beyond it begins to open. Opportunities recognize movement. Life responds to effort. Doors are far more likely to open when they hear footsteps approaching. So stand up from the places where you have been waiting too long. Carry your fire with intention. Let it guide your choices, warm your discipline, and light the way forward. You were not created to watch life pass by through glass windows. You were born to step into it, fully awake, fully engaged, and unafraid to let your fire be seen. Every morning you wake up, before the world speaks to you, before demands and distractions arrive, you are handed a quiet choice. No one announces it, no one applauds it, but it is there all the same. The way you rise, the way you begin, the way you decide to use those first moments, cast a vote for the kind of life you are building. Not the life you talk about, not the life you wish for, but the one your actions are slowly shaping. Some mornings the bed feels heavier than your dreams. The comfort of staying still whispers that missing one day will not matter, but days do not live alone. They gather, they stack, they become habits, and habits become identity. When you choose effort in the small hours, you are not just completing a task. You are declaring who you believe yourself to be. You are telling life, quietly but firmly, that you are someone who shows up. Your future is not formed in dramatic moments only. It is shaped in ordinary mornings when no one is watching, when motivation is low and discipline must speak instead. Each morning you move instead of delay, focus instead of drift. You place another vote into the box of the life you want. Over time, those votes decide everything, not talent alone, not luck, but consistency. There will be mornings when your energy feels thin and your confidence feels distant. Those are not signs to stop. They are invitations to grow stronger. You do not need to feel inspired to be intentional. Purpose is not a feeling, it is a practice. When you act without waiting for perfect conditions, you teach yourself resilience. You learn that progress is possible even on imperfect days. The life you desire is listening closely to what you do when the alarm rings. It notices whether you honor your promises or postpone them. It remembers how often you choose action over comfort. You cannot vote once and expect the result to hold. You must return every day and make the choice again. That repetition is not a burden, it is your power. Some days your vote will feel small, almost invisible, but no vote is wasted. One focused hour, one disciplined decision, one honest effort carries more weight than you realize. Momentum is built quietly. Confidence grows from keeping small commitments to yourself. Over time, you begin to trust yourself more deeply because you have evidence that you follow through. Do not underestimate the dignity of a morning lived with intention. It sets the tone for everything that follows. When you start your day with purpose, even challenges feel different. You face them with steadiness instead of resistance. You respond instead of react. You move forward instead of circling the same place. So when morning comes, remember this. You are not just waking up, you are choosing. You are voting for discipline or delay, growth or stagnation, courage or comfort. Make your choice with awareness. Make it with respect for who you are becoming. And when you place that vote again tomorrow and the next day and the next, one day you will look around and realize you are living in the result of the life you consistently chose. Discipline is not harshness, and it is not the absence of joy. Discipline is the quiet decision to honor yourself even when no one is watching. It is the way you prove to your own heart that you matter enough to be consistent. When you choose discipline, you are not restricting your life, you are protecting it. You are saying that your time, your energy, and your future are too valuable to be wasted on endless delay. Self-respect does not live in words alone. It lives in motion. It shows up when you do what you said you would do, even when the feeling has passed. Anyone can feel inspired for a moment, but discipline is what carries you forward when inspiration grows quiet. It is the bridge between who you are now and who you are becoming. Without it, dreams remain fragile ideas. With it, they gain weight, direction, and strength. There will be days when discipline feels uncomfortable, even lonely. In those moments, remember that comfort often asks you to shrink, while discipline asks you to rise. Choosing effort over ease is not punishment. It is an act of deep respect. It tells your future self, I did not abandon you when things became difficult. That promise, kept repeatedly, builds trust within you, and self-trust is one of the strongest forms of confidence. Discipline is not about doing everything perfectly. It is about showing up honestly. Some days your best will feel strong, other days it will feel small. Both count. What matters is movement. What matters is refusing to stop simply because progress is slow. Respect grows when you stay consistent through imperfection, when you continue despite doubt, and when you allow yourself to learn instead of quit. Every disciplined action, no matter how small, sends a message inward. It says, I take myself seriously. Over time, those messages reshape how you see yourself. You stop negotiating with excuses and start responding with action. You stop waiting for permission and begin giving it to yourself. That shift changes your posture in the world. You walk differently, you decide differently, you live differently. Discipline also teaches patience. It reminds you that meaningful change takes time, repetition, and care. Quick results may impress the eye, but steady effort transforms the soul. When you respect the process, you learn to value progress over perfection. You understand that growth is built quietly, through routines that may seem ordinary but are deeply powerful. When you move with discipline, your life gains clarity. Your goals stop feeling distant because your actions align with them. You feel less scattered, less restless, because your energy has direction. Discipline gives your days structure and your dreams a path. It becomes easier to say no to distractions because you have said yes to something greater. So let discipline be your daily declaration of self-respect. Let it guide your choices, shape your habits, and steady your focus. Not rigid, not cruel, but firm and faithful. When you move with discipline, you are not chasing worth. You are expressing it. And with every consistent step, you become proof that self-respect, once set in motion, can carry you farther than motivation ever will. Dreams do not vanish because time passes. They remain patient, quiet, and hopeful. But even patience has a limit. A dream can wait for years, standing gently at the edge of your life, watching you grow older while it stays the same age. It does not shout or demand attention. It simply waits for you to choose it. And yet, with every delay, it grows heavier, not because it is weak, but because it longs to be lived. There is a particular kind of tiredness that comes from waiting too long. It is not the tiredness of effort, but the exhaustion of postponement. When you keep saying one day, your dream listens, wondering when that day will finally arrive. The energy that once felt exciting slowly turns into restlessness. You feel it in quiet moments when something inside you feels unfinished, unresolved, still calling your name. Your dreams were never meant to sit on shelves like forgotten books. They were meant to be opened, explored, and lived through experience. When you do not act on them, they do not disappear, but they begin to ache. That ache shows up as frustration, as comparison, as the feeling that something is missing even when life looks full from the outside. Waiting too long teaches regret instead of growth. Time does not punish dreams, but it tests commitment. The longer you wait, the easier it becomes to doubt yourself. You begin to question whether your dream still matters, whether it was ever possible, whether it is too late now. But doubt is often just a signal that your dream has been waiting in silence for your courage to return. It is not asking for perfection, it is asking for movement. There is no expiration date on becoming who you were meant to be. But there is a cost to delay. Dreams grow tired of being promised action and given excuses instead. They grow weary of being admired from a distance instead of pursued with intention. Every step you do not take teaches your dream to shrink itself to fit your fear. Action breathes life back into tired dreams. The moment you begin, even imperfectly, something shifts. The weight lifts. The spark returns. Dreams respond quickly to effort. They do not demand speed, they demand sincerity. One honest step forward can revive years of waiting. Progress reminds your dream that you still believe in it. You do not need to chase your dream with desperation. You only need to stop abandoning it, show up consistently, give it time, attention, and respect. Treat it like something alive because it is connected to you. When you honor it through action, it stops feeling distant and starts feeling possible again. Let this be the moment you stop asking how long it will take and start asking what you can do today. Dreams are resilient, but they are not meant to be lonely. They were given to you to be carried into the world, not stored away for someday. Choose to move now while the dream is still whispering your name, before waiting turns that whisper into silence. Your future is always listening, even when you forget it is there. It hears the choices you make in quiet moments, the promises you keep or quietly break, the effort you give when no one is applauding. The future does not respond to what you say you will do someday. It responds to what you practice today. Every action becomes a message sent forward in time, shaping what will eventually meet you. When you delay, your future learns patience. When you act, your future learns trust. What you repeat today becomes the environment your future will live in. Small habits grow roots. Small decisions gain momentum. What feels ordinary now will feel inevitable later. You may not see the results immediately, but they're forming, slowly and faithfully, responding to the pattern you set. Your future notices how you handle discomfort. It listens when you choose ease over effort, and it listens when you choose courage instead. Each time you push through resistance, you teach your future resilience. Each time you stop too soon, you teach it limits. You are constantly training the life that is waiting for you, whether you realize it or not. There are moments when today feels insignificant compared to the size of your dreams. But your future is built from these very moments. It is built from how you use an hour, how you respond to frustration, how you move forward after doubt. You do not arrive at a strong future by accident. You construct it piece by piece, choice by choice, action by action. Even your silence is heard. When you avoid what matters, your future hears hesitation. When you ignore your potential, your future feels the absence. But when you take responsibility for your actions, your future begins to trust you. That trust becomes opportunity. Opportunity becomes growth. Growth becomes the life you once imagined from a distance. You do not have to be perfect for your future to respond positively. You only have to be consistent. Your future understands effort better than intention. It values progress more than promises. It grows stronger when you show up again after failing. Every time you begin again instead of quitting, your future takes note. The version of you that exists tomorrow is shaped by what you do today. Confidence is not something that suddenly appears, it is earned through repeated action. Strength is not given, it is built through persistence. Clarity is not found, it is created by movement. Your future listens closely to how seriously you take yourself now. There will be days when today feels heavy and tomorrow feels far away. On those days, remember that even small effort speaks loudly. A single focused step tells your future that you are committed. That message matters. It adds up. It changes direction. It shifts outcomes. So choose your actions with awareness. Treat today as a conversation with the life you want to live. Speak through effort. Speak through discipline. Speak through courage. Because one day, sooner than you expect, your future will answer you, not with words, but with the results of everything you chose to do when today was still in your hands.